This program is proudly brought to you by Daytech PNG Limited and Telecom Limited.
Good night, Papua New Guinea. I'm Malcolm Waira, and welcome to another episode of Infocus. Tonight, we hold discussions with the Chief Executive Officer of Nasfund, Mr. Rajeev Sharma. We discuss the company's performance, its innovative products and services, and its future plans. Mr. Sharma, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Firstly, Rajeev, just for the benefit of our viewers who may not know, can you tell us a little bit about the services and the products you offer?
Yeah, Nasfund is a superannuation company, and in superannuation, basically we offer all the superannuation products. These are retirement products, and one product is which is called, we call it Nasfund, which is a retirement money gets saved for all the members there, and this is a contributory fund. It means you make your contribution, employee contribution and employer contribution, then interest is earned on that, and depend on your longevity in the fund, the money gets accumulated. So this is the accumulated contributory fund. And then we have few more products there, which is called EDA Super. EDA Super is specifically for people who are in informal sector, and they are working in organization where there is less than 15 employees. And other popular product we have is the Housing Advance. And this is as per the Superannuation Act, which allows you to withdraw funds after you've been with the funds for 5 years for the housing purposes. So these are the three major products which basically we offer at Nasfund. And this is all for retirement saving for everyone. The idea is you keep contributing while you are working, and once you retire, you basically take your money out.
Okay. Given that it's been somewhat of a challenging economic environment for the country the last couple of years, Nasfund has performed quite well, exceeding expectations. We've recorded about 6.35 billion gross assets,
Yep.
about 6.3 billion net assets value, and a net profit of 256 million.
Yep.
What would you attribute these positive results to?
You see, 256 million positive result which has come, it has come after last year was a year when European conflict was first time going on. And because of the European conflict, the international markets went down. And when international markets go down, all the shares which you have invested in international market, value of those goes down. And when those values go down, what happens is a fund has to record the loss in valuation as the loss. It is not an income, it is rather, it is a negative income for the fund. So last year was a year when fund basically had a very good run with the cash profit, which was 473 million was the cash profit. But we had 93 million of loss because of the valuation. And out of 93 million of valuation loss, 53 million was on valuation and 40 million was on FX loss, because there was a change in foreign exchange rate. And if I come back again, our international equity, which is a fund, a Vanguard fund, that itself basically had a loss of 115 million. So whilst we say result is good, but it was below CPI. If I did not have these valuation losses, we would have a more fantastic year last year. But if you look at superannuation funds, what we should be looking at, how much cash money we made, and we definitely made 473 million, which was 50 million more than 2021. So definitely we had good year from that perspective. We had good year from the perspective that our net contribution was positive. What is net contribution is the contribution we receive from the members and the benefit payments we make out. So delta which is there, delta should be positive. If delta is positive, it means fund gets more money to invest in, and that was the case last year. 105 million was the net delta last year.
How has the fund performed so far in this first half of this year? And what is your outlook for the remainder of the year?
Sure. I mean, this year we are having a good year so far. And when I say good year, again, everything needs to be in the perspective. When I say good year, two things, significant events took place in last 12 months. One was the introduction of new banking tax, which meant BSP's profit, which was earlier being taxed at 30%, now being taxed at 45%. and Nasfund is a major shareholder of BSP. So what it meant for us is that our dividend income is going to go down. So when we budgeted for lower income, that this year, despite even if BSP's profit goes up, we will receive less dividend because of the higher tax. So that was budgeted for. We are keeping absolutely on track on that. Rather, BSP has declared a dividend of 37 toya per share, which is slightly more than 34 toya they did last year. And second part was, in last 12 months, there has been reduction in the interest rates which government offers on T-bills and GIS. Like 364 days, a paper used to give us 7.2% of the yield. Now that 7.2 has gone down to about 3%. So there is a reduction of overall 3% in yields on government securities. What it means for someone like Nasfund, we churn out roughly 1 billion kina every year. And that 1 billion kina, when we churn out, what it means that we will going to lose 30 million kina of interest. So from 22 to 23, definitely there will be 30 million kina less interest income, and about 18 to 20 million kina less in dividend income. So there is a 48 million less. That was budgeted for. But despite that, what we have seen that international markets have recovered in first half. So far, we are probably at 50 million gain in international market. The losses which we had incurred in 2022 are coming good. And there is positivity on, there was a 30 million kina gain on FX. So what I have noticed so far is we are 16 million ahead of budget in income, and we are 6 million lower in expenses. It means year to date, if I look at 6 months, we are 22 million ahead of budget. But what it means, how are you going to basically do this when year end comes? That time it will be decided by how international markets react on that particular time. Say if there is a significant event which takes place during November, December, two things might happen. Because of that event, either market will go down or it will go up. If market goes down, the results will not be as positive as I am seeing it today. But if market goes up, result will be far superior. It's very important to understand when we do accounting for superannuation, the two types of income avenues are there. One is called cash income, another is called valuation income. Cash income is something which comes by dividend, interest, rentals. Something I may say which is within our control. We do certain activities, we do certain acts, and the reaction is we earn interest, we earn dividend, or we earn interest. But there are external factors like European conflict. Nobody knew that oil prices will go up, or COVID, the impact of that. It is absolutely something beyond our control. When those activities take place in the market, then the market goes up or down depending on what kind of activity it is. And that impacts overall result for international equities where we invest. And 10% to 15% of our strategic assets allocation always is overseas. And that has given so far fantastic results. Like this year, it has given good result. But last year, that was not the case. I'm hoping that as we approach towards December, this goodness continues and we are able to give a return which will be more than CPI. Because it is important for members to have a return which is greater than CPI. If return is not up to CPI, it means in real life you're going backwards. In simple terms, suppose you spend 100 kina to buy something. And if inflation is 5%, then next year you will have to have 105 kina to buy same particular item, say this coffee mug. So if you have only 104 kina, then you will not be able to afford that. So this goes exactly same theory for our retirement fund. So our money must grow minimum equivalent to CPI, and that is our fund's target also, that we should grow members' money minimum by CPI. And so far, Nasfund has declared results. If I take graph of 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, or last 20 years, we have always given more than CPI result. And we are aiming this year again. Last year was the exception year where we could not get CPI return, but in the block of 5 years, definitely we qualified. And this year, I'm hoping that with international markets coming back, there should be a CPI return. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Rajeev. We now go for a quick break. Join us on the other side for more discussions. Welcome back to Infocus. Now, Rajeev, Nsvan has been subject to various challenges over the years that have hampered your business in certain ways. For example, it was reported that a technical glitch was responsible for preventing your contributing members from viewing their contributions that were being made into the account. Without giving too much away, how is Nasfund looking to rectify the situation and prevent such situations from happening in the future?
Yeah, first, there was no glitch in Nasfund system. Let me clarify that. The glitch was in one of the bank system, where bank could not provide us the statements on time. And when I say statement, when you deposit something with the bank, it comes with the whole detail, the name of depositor, name of the company, and the amount, and so forth. So that detail was not coming forth. And second thing we must clarify is when a contribution comes to Nasfund account, it has got dual purpose. First purpose of the contribution is that it should be credited to the member's account. The second part is that money should come to the Nasfund account and money should get invested and it should earn interest, dividend and income, and then that income at the end of the day should go back to member's account. So second part, there was no problem. We were getting money in to our bank account on daily basis. Investments was being made as it was planned. So income is being earned. The issue was because we did not have correct information coming in for the contribution allocation. So allocations were not happening on time. But that has now been fixed. But there's the backlog and we are working day and night. Overtime staff is working at our end. Their staff is working at Kina Funds Administration, who are our fund administrator. And current backlog has significantly reduced. But still it will take probably next 4 to 6 weeks for us to come at par with where we should be, that we should be allocating contributions on very regular basis. So yes, there was a glitch, but glitch was not at Nasfund area. It was someone else's glitch. And but because we are all linked, we depend on each other, and this is how technology works. And because of that glitch, we were impacted, our members were impacted. They could not see their contribution coming in as regularly as they should have seen. So yeah.
In terms of technological innovation, Nsvan has recently launched the Nasf App. It's available on Google Play Store and Apple Store, and it's free to download. How has such technological innovations improved your business and your services?
Yeah, two things. You see, a member's experience is very important. And when I look at Nasfund memberships, we have a lot of young membership who go to office, who have access to smartphones or who have access to internet. Now, why a member needs to come to Nasfund, that needs to be understood. So most of the time, member would come to Nasfund branch to find out their balance or to submit their housing advance or for withdrawal purpose or to amend their beneficiaries, MDFs as we call it. Now, we realize that if we do few things, make life easier for all the members, that they don't need to come to Nasfund, they could be served digitally. So we basically launched earlier in the year something called Easy Call. Easy Call is IVR, which is a voice recognition system. It's completely automated system. When you dial that number gives you a prompt whether you want in English or in Pidgin. And if you key in your membership number and another question which is asked, it will give you what is your balance, A. Secondly, it will also give you what is the status of your payment status. Suppose you have lodged an application for payment. So people used to go to branch to find out what is the status of my application. So this IVR basically tells you what is the status of your application. So you need not go to branch. It means sitting at your home, office, or wherever you are, from comfort of that, you could do that. So that was Easy Call we launched earlier during the year. Then we saw that our app is not as being used as it should be. So app, what it does is, in app, if you log on to the app, basically it shows you what is your current balance. It shows you how much contribution you have made during the year. You can download your statement. You can see how much is the balance which you can withdraw for housing advance. So you need not go to branch for any purpose. App pretty much tells you everything. And apart from that, if you need some clarification, definitely you should call. Easy Call, you can speak to operator or you can go to branch and basically get served there. These are the two things. And third thing, which is partly launched, and the second part of it is not yet completely launched, that is in UAT, is our queuing system. So what we notice that people go there and sit in the queue, and it takes at times hour, 2 hours to them to get served. We thought, what is the way around? So we found a queuing system which is WhatsApp enabled. Sitting in your office, home, wherever, you can use WhatsApp to do the appointment booking. You say that today is Friday. Say Monday, 3 p.m., you want to go to our Vaigani branch. System will enable you to book the appointment 3 p.m. Vaigani. So you can leave wherever you leave. Say it takes 15 minutes for you to reach our branch. Leave 2:45, reach there 3 o'clock, get served by 3:15, out by 3:20. So it will reduce the timing. It is basically enhancing the member experience. We don't want unnecessarily people to wait there for the basic things which they need to cover. If you don't want to use Easy Call, or you can't be served by Easy Call, you cannot see on app, then the third option is you go to our branch, but definitely book a time, so that your time is very valuable. Everyone's time is valuable. And what it does is, it does not put as much pressure on my branch also. Otherwise, you see long queues there, because people wait there because there's no queuing system. So these things we have implemented. And there are a lot of other digitalization we are doing in terms of on-banking, onboarding of the members. Currently, there is a lot of requirements of when you onboard a member. Currently, onboarding is done by all the employers. So we have signed a MOU with My Bank, and My Bank is basically, they have a system where onboarding of member is digitally. They will use smartphones or tablets to take your photograph, get all your information, and that information will digitally be transferred to our account. It means there is no manual process involved there. And we could use the bank's KYC system to upload, to basically onboard our members. Where this is going to work more for us is, it's not so much in the Port Moresby, Leh or Huggins, it is more in rural areas. Because rural areas where we don't have our branches everywhere. It is not possible to have branches in every city or every village in Papua New Guinea. But someone like My Bank, they have their branches and they have their agent in the rural areas. So those agents will be able to onboard members digitally, seamlessly, and that will help us basically growing our membership base there. So yes, lots happening in digital area, and we have a digital strategy in place, and we are working according to the digital strategy.
Thank you, Rajeev. We now go for a quick break. We continue our discussions when we return. Welcome back to Infocus. Still in the studio with me, I have the Chief Executive Officer of Nsvan, Mr. Rajeev Sharma. I would imagine the majority of your contributors are employed in the private sector, as well as the non-government organizations, and a few from the public sector. However, we are cognizant of the fact that we have quite a large number of our population who are employed in the agriculture as well as the informal sector. So are there specific products or services offered by Nsvan that is tailored specifically for these two sectors? I think you mentioned previously in the previous segment, at a super.
Yeah, I can expand on that. No, great question. Look, now population of Papua New Guinea is close to 11.7 million. Yeah. Now, total coverage of superannuation industry in Papua New Guinea, when I say total coverage, it is Nasfund, number 1 super, CTSL and Aeon. It is close to 930,000 members. Population size of 11.7 million, it gives about 8% coverage. Yeah. Now, how relevant is this 8% coverage of superannuation if I compare this with Australia, where coverage is 60% of the population? Come to Fiji, coverage is about 40%. So significant amount of our population in Papua New Guinea is in informal sector. And we are faced with challenge, again, as I said, there is no universal coverage. So if you have employees working in organization for less than 15, or they are in SME sector, they are in informal sector, there is no compulsory coverage of these part of the membership or expected membership. Yeah. So we need to educate everyone to come into this superannuation net, because when you retire in PNG, still we don't have any pension provided by the government. So everyone has to basically work for their own pension. They have to, this is why these are called accumulative contributory funds, because you put your money contribution, which gets accumulated over a lifespan of your being a member. So what we have done is we have signed various MOUs in various provinces. We are working with informal sector. We are onboarding them using EDA Super as a product. But we are faced with a challenge that there is no regularity there. A member comes and deposits 50 kina in month 1, 50 kina in month 2, then stops contributing because there is either banking facility is not nearby, and that is how my bank will come into the play. Or secondly, the importance is not, awareness is not there that how important is superannuation for everyone. Because when anyone is going to retire now, if you retire at the age of 55 or 60 and you are expected to live for 10 to 15 years more than that, then you're going to need money. How much money you're going to need, again you need to understand. Inflation is going to play a very important role. There are products which used to be for less than kina 30 years ago. Now these products are at the shelf selling at 8 kina, 10 kina. So inflation basically hits. If you spend 1,000 kina or say 100 kina today for your weekly grocery shopping, you go there and say, okay, for 100 kina I can buy these things which will be sufficient for me and my family to put food on the table here. But what you need to compare and what you need to calculate 10 years down the line, because of the inflation, whether inflation is 3%, 4% or 5%, that 100 kina will not be sufficient. You would need probably 200 kina in 10 years' time. So when you are planning your retirement, what you need to be really planning is how much money you're going to need when you retire. First, when you retire, how much money you're going to have. That calculation needs to be done, and that is something which should drive the saving culture. Am I saving enough? Is 14.4% enough, which is saved? Like for example, Nasfund, yeah? Our employer contributes 10% contribution instead of 8.4. There are few other employers, they contribute 10%. Because Income Tax Act allows you to contribute up to 15%. So if you think that your contribution is less, you think that when you retire it is not going to be sufficient, you can use this voluntary employer contribution mode, save on some tax, put some money aside for superannuation. When you retire, you should have sufficient. So that is one aspect of how much you will have. Second aspect, how much you need money when you retire there. So when you come back to the private sector or informal sector, so there are a lot of education processes going on. We go and talk to people, we go and have our camps, we go and basically educate them as to why there is a need of them, everyone to have money for superannuation. And we are trying to give them a solution so that they can start contributing on a regular basis.
From a broader perspective, we are anticipating an economic boom in a few years' time. Once the government and project developers for the upcoming major resource projects conclude negotiations. What sort of opportunities will this boom provide for Nasfund?
You see, various opportunities will come from a Nasfund. So let's start from first membership basis. When this boom happens, we will see a lot more employment happening in Papua New Guinea. Now, when employment increases, that will increase either a new companies will come in or existing companies will employ more people. When existing companies employ more people, they are automatically, if they are with Nasfund, so their contribution will increase, my membership base will increase. Yeah, my NAV will increase. Funds which I need to invest, I'll have more funds there. When new company comes in, depending on size, if they are over 15, definitely we will reach out to them and try to have that membership. So one, there is a membership growth. Second, NAV growth. And third part is there will be far more opportunity for us to invest in this market. As a super fund, we always look for good avenues to invest where we can have a good return for our members. So as economy grows, we will see a lot of growth in the areas like we have already seen because of the announcement in March which was made for feed for Total project. After that, we have seen that our residential segment of property, it has picked up. There is a far more demand coming in. Till last year, whatever rental we need to charge, we have We are charging more rental now, and we don't have enough stock to offer. If someone says that I need 15 units, I'll have to say, sorry, I don't have. And similarly, we have seen far more inquiries in residential, in commercial sector also. People are trying to either expand office or open new offices. And third, in infrastructure area, we see a lot of opportunities of investment in large infrastructure projects that either we can do on alone, or we can do in consortium with the banks, with the other funds, with the government, without government, with other parties. So a lot of opportunities will come. And one economic activity takes place. A lot of buying and selling happens within the economy. And as a superannuation who is a large player in the economy, I mean, superannuation contributes about 15 to 16% of the economy in Papua New Guinea. We are a large player in the economy, so we will have opportunity to invest more. We will have opportunity to have more money as a contribution. Our NAV will grow, our membership size will grow, and hence the return to members will grow. So superannuation saving for the whole membership will grow. So we're really looking forward to this next phase of boom, which we are expecting to come sooner in the market.
Mr. Rajeev Sharma, thank you for joining us. Lovely. That's all the time we have for this edition of Infocus. Thank you for joining us, and until next week's edition, good night.